Welcome back to Yeti Build. This video is part 2 of the F-150 Flareside build that I'm doing for a good buddy of mine. In this video, we're going to take this boring print and give it that Yeti Built love. We're going to do paint, we're going to do windows, we're going to do trim, we're going to do a bed floor, get this thing magnet mounted. I'm going to walk you through every step and how I go about it. Not going to go too super in depth with the paint video. Like I said before, I already got one of those on the channel. You guys can scroll back and check it out. I titled these videos as Forge in the Cold, and I never really explained what Forge in the Cold is. It's going to be a series where I build trucks for myself, for friends, comp trucks, trail trucks, scale trucks. I mean, whatever you guys can imagine we're going to have on here. They're going to be full, ground up, tires to paint jobs. Just walk you through how I go about it. An added thing, I already do have shirts made. They're on yetibuilt.com. It's tagged in my bio on YouTube and on Instagram. I love the support I've been seeing. I've been seeing a lot of purchases lately. It means a lot. It goes towards funding all these builds and getting more videos up for you guys and just trying to put the knowledge that I have of these cars into your hands. From here on out, let's get this thing assembled, let's get this thing painted, get it on the rocks, man. I'm dying to see this thing crawl. All right, so after the first video, I was sitting here looking at this truck for a while, looking at how the body lays on the tires, and the wheelbase is perfect, but I really don't like how much that rear of the bed overhangs. It's going to make for bad departure angle, trying to come down anything the body's going to drag. So I went back to my slicer on Bamboo Studio, shortened the bed up, cut a new fender well, and we end up with this. Try to get this sitting on here, right? So wheelbase is exactly the same on the body, but the departure angle is way better. We're just behind that tire. Gives it a much cleaner look. Really happy with that. So the next step we got is we're going to do a bed floor just to give us a spot to mount our magnets to, and then it hides that rear of the frame rail. Gives it a much cleaner look. What we're going to use is some 0.5 millimeter polystyrene. This is what I use for all of my 124 like flat panel stuff. It cuts real nice and clean. All I'm going to do, or all I did do, I already did it, but all I did was lay it like this, right on top. Take a fine line Sharpie or a pencil or anything, whatever you guys got. Trace it out, cut it out. Gives you your bed shape. And just layer on in there, man. Nice and simple. Gives you that nice fit and finish without seeing all the suspension goodies hiding in there. See if I can get the lay in here nice. Yeah, so look just like that. Just gonna glue it in from the bottom. Before paint, I always just scuff this with a red Scotch-Brite pad. That way the paint, the primer right here is nice. Never had an issue with it. It always worked good for me. So I'm gonna quick glue this in. We'll go over, we'll get this thing sanded up, get it prepped ready for primer. It's almost time to paint. I'm ready to see this thing in the color. He wants to do the what was it? The original like two-tone that these had. There's a body line here, and then it follows this crease on the bed side. The top and the bottom, well, it's only a little tiny bit, but the top and the bottom are going to be a dark blue, and the center will be a silver. Then we'll do chrome trim, make this thing look super clean. Try to keep it that old school Ford vibes. Nice and simple. All right, let me get this thing glued up, get it sanded, get this thing to primer. All right, and that's that. Got it glued in. Looking super clean. Ready for primer. I know I've mentioned before, I mentioned in my styrene video, where I built the cage for this one. These are the glues that I use. Love a Starbond medium. You don't get a lot of the runs. And then any Insta set works, but I got the, what's this, Bob Smith Industries from Hobby Lobby. So any hobby store has it, and of course Amazon. But this is what we got now. Should be sitting right there. Loving it. He's gonna lose it when he sees this thing. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward to a quick little time lapse, sanding this thing down. From there to primer, then some wet sanding, and then finally paint. Then some trimming some windows, and this thing will be on the rocks. It's looking good. All right, so this new ASA glass fiber that I print with, the same filament that Nacho uses for his bodies too. I just hit this with 120 grit, I think it is, and we're almost there. I think from here we're just gonna get it rinsed off. We'll get it into primer. Let it set overnight, and we'll paint it tomorrow. I'm real happy. It looks clean. All right, so now that we're all sanded up, I'm going to hit it with some primer. I forget who told me about this brand. I'm pretty sure it was Trailbound on Instagram. First time using it. I'm going to try it out. He says good things about it, so we'll see what happens. Don't come from my paint booth. It's just primer. We'll get fresh filters and get it all cleaned out when we go to do some color. Let's hit something random quick and see how this thing sprays out. It's definitely a lot lighter. Not as heavy than what I normally use, which is definitely nicer for these bodies, for sure. Well, this scale, I should say. Alright, well, that's it. We'll come back, we'll hit it with probably two more coats. Get it nice and heavy. That way we can sand it, wet sand it, and she'll be glossy. Alright, so I wet sanded her off camera just to save some time on this. No reason to Make you guys watch me sand again. But got her wet sanded to 1500. Started at 400 just to knock off that filler primer. Oh, I mentioned that filler primer before, that Seymour PBE. Big fan. The 400 grit knocked all the high stuff off super quick, and just finished it up with some 1000 and 1500 just to get it glossy, get her super smooth. She's ready for some paint. So we're gonna do, I mentioned before, but Eclipse Blue. This color here is gonna be the primary color. It's gonna have a Galactic Silver two-tone. But first we're gonna go in with Abyss Black, just to get a nice base coat on this thing, get her all even. Not super heavy, just so the silver pops easy. That's it. Let's get some color on this thing. Alright, so we're going to do the whole truck in the silver, not just the sides, even though silver is only going to show on the side, just so we can get this Eclipse Blue a little brighter. It's a very dark color. It goes almost black at night from what I've been told. I've never painted it before, so it's kind of a trial and error thing for this. We're praying it comes out good for my boy. Get this thing into silver. The flake in this silver is wild. I'm sure you guys can see it flying around. Really high on metallic silver. Love it. Love it, love it. Alright, so that covered really well. We'll just do one more coat just to make it pop a little more and brighten it up a bit. Tape this off. Lay to blue. Okay, so from what I've seen, after going over a bunch of pictures on the internet, these stripes on the side here come just below this body line, right behind the grill. So there'll be a blue to separate the grill and the stripe. It'll come back. It'll just barely wrap around the pillar here, the back of the cab corner, and then it'll cover the gas door. So it'll be this panel, a little bit here, a little bit here, and then this panel, and then the back will just be blue. So real super simple, nothing real crazy detailed about this, but it's always the more simple ones that are a pain. So we'll see how it goes. So let's get this thing covered up, get it in blue, get it in clear, and we'll go from there. All right, nice and simple. Worked out to be just two perfect tape lines, laid out nice, super clean.
It's definitely weird. I never realized these Flaresides how actual angular they are. They're not very rounded. They're actually kind of squared off. I had to look at the pictures on the internet a bunch of times to make sure I was doing that right, but that's how they have them. I mean, the edges are a little rounded, but you're not going to tell on this scale. All right, spray some blue, spray some clear. First coat, see how it lays. Oh, she's blue. I will say this paint, normally these cans are really gentle. This one's aggressive. A lot of color comes out of that, especially for a pearl. I think it's a pearl. I don't remember, but a lot of paint came out of that thing. Okay, coat number 2. Alright, so I think one more coat's gonna do it. We'll see. I like where it's going. Alright. I hate the lighting in here, by the way, but we can get this tape pulled off. We're going to do clear. The clear we're going to use, I was told about this here, but the 2K clear by Car Rep, but it's not a 2-part clear. It's a 1-part clear that when you spray it, it atomizes in the air and helps it set. I'm not the biggest paint guy. I don't know all the science behind it, but we're going to try it out. I'm sure one of you guys will notice it, but I just had to go back and drop the blue on this side about 2 millimeters because this line didn't line up. But we're dialing both sides now. Now it's clear time. Let's wrap this thing up. All right, let's give a little test spread. We're good. Every time I try a new clear, it freaks me out, so My heart's beating fast because this looks good. I don't want to mess it up. I have noticed there's certain clears. I don't know if I have the one here. Oh, this here. This Duplicolor 1K clear. I used this last time. You have to spray this thing so heavy to get a nice coat. I couldn't bring myself to do it, and then I finally just sent her, and she laid out nice. So, with that set, I'll probably do 2 more coats. Next time you'll see this thing, she'll be glossy. Alright boys, there she is. I will say, the reason this video took a whole week to get out after the part 1 was solely due to me having no idea why the first time I cleared this, it had such bad orange peel that it almost completely got rid of the pearl in the blue. So I ended up wet sanding the clear twice to get it to where it is now. And I'm about 90% happy with it. The bed, you can still see it, but I know he plans on putting a sticker here. And then the cab roof, you can see it a little bit. I'll insert a video, or a pic, I guess, yeah, it is a video. I'll insert a video here. It'll show you how bad the orange peel was the first time I cleared it. Not sure what caused it. Maybe you guys could hit a comment below and tell me your thoughts and reasoning as to why it did it so bad. But yeah, I'm real happy with how it came out now. So from here, trim. So these are the markers I use for my trim, whether I'm doing gold or chrome. I had a lot of questions about this body when I first did it, about how I got the gold cage done. And it's just a paint marker, paint pen. So any hobby store, Amazon sells these. As you can see, they're not cheap, but they do last forever. You don't mean there's a lot of paint in these things. So there's different tips as well. This is a fine tip. And then this one is a heavier tip. I think this one, I think it says it on here. Or not. No. This one does. 0.8 is the fine tip, and this one goes to 3. So this one actually has a fine tip on one side and a heavy tip on the other side. Really nice, super easy to use, comes out beautiful. I want to try this. I was told this is really good as well. Haven't used it yet. So it's silver foil. Well, the weird thing is that, like I said, I've never used it before, but I'm assuming it goes on like paint. Got a little mixer in there. And then there's a protective lacquer. So, base and clear. I really want to try it out, see how it comes out. I'm not sure if you put it on with a brush or what, but yeah, brush it on. So we'll definitely try this on the next job. But we're gonna stick to what I know and what I like. We're gonna get this thing all trimmed out in some chrome, the windows. Probably just gonna be the windows, the wing window, the windshield trim, the rear window trim, and then the grill will all be chrome. Bring this thing to life, and then we will do the windows once that dries. Get to a time lapse of me banging this out. We'll move on.
There's the first coat of the trim done. Got the grill finished out. Windows, windshield, and the rear glass. Gotta let that dry quite some time, and then you can go over with a second coat. If you try to go over right away, it causes it to drag, so just let it set for a bit. Let it dry good, and then come back with your second coat a little later. So we'll let this dry. We'll come back with the fine tip and get, hard to see, some of those spots up in here. And the little nooks and crannies in the grill. Should be ready for windows. Okay, second coat, done. I didn't do it on camera. There's only like 2 or 3 spots I really had to touch up, so it is what it is. Came out killer. Added these 2 little bars in the back just because it looked boring back there. But that's that. Just coming together. So next up, windows. I use this colored, I think it's colored lens film off Amazon. It's been talked about many times. I have packs and packs of it, all kinds of crazy colors, but the crazy colors just sit here because I mainly only use the black, just the regular tinted stuff. There's thin plastic on both sides, so you don't have to worry about scratching it or anything. What I do, just to make it really easy, I just hold it over my window where I want it, trace it big with a Sharpie, or you can even use a pencil. It's just kind of harder to see, but I use a fine line Sharpie for almost everything. So fine line Sharpie, trace your window, cut it out, lay it in there. If it's too big, trim it down. It's too small, try again. Thankfully, it's cheap and you can get it in bulk. I think in this pack there was 9 sheets of this. I mean, you're getting a ton of trucks done with that. I mean, I think I do maybe 3, 4, 5 bodies with just 1 sheet. So really easy. The hardest part's the front windshield, but just like I said, just lay it in there, trace it, cut it big, and lay it in there, cut it out, trim it down. Just take your time. So come back to you once the windows are done. We'll get this thing mounted up on this chassis. It's all ready to go. Got the thing wrapped up. Get this thing running and driving. Quickly, I wanted to say, before I get these glued in, I use the same glue I use for everything else. Medium Star Bond. Make sure you have a nice, long, fresh dripper on there. And just do tiny little drops all the way around, just little tiny spots, because for some reason this glue, I don't know if it's like a static cling thing with the glue in the plastic or what, but sometimes you'll get like a little stringy effect. I don't know if I have any bodies laying around that had it happen. Maybe on this one a little bit. Well, maybe not. Just kind of beat up. All right. Right there in the window, you get like a little stringing sometimes if there's too much glue. But that's that. Let's get them glued in. And there she is. Dialed. This thing fits that era, the late 80s. Absolutely perfect. Just needs an AC/DC sticker in the back. So next up, just gonna put a couple drops of my glue on my have 4 magnets. We'll let it set overnight. Make sure she's nice and centered, left to right, forward to back. She'll be done. After that, next time you're going to see this thing is going to be hopefully on the rocks with my boy. See how capable she is. I'm a little nervous about the 52s, just because of ground clearance. I mean, we're like a finger, about a half inch of clearance on that knuckle. So we'll see. Maybe we'll go to 57s. Maybe we'll stay because it looks clean. It does fit the fender well. It's absolutely perfect. But we'll see. There she is, boys. Hope you enjoyed the video. A little longer. A little bit of a pain in the butt, that's for sure too. But thanks for watching. Stay wild.